Hey, my name's Keaton Rice, and this is one of my questions for my Creative Critical Reflection for my AS Media Studies course. This is question number 1. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? One of the conventions that is used or challenged is the protagonist and antagonist. By definition, the protagonist is the leading character or one of the major characters in a play, film, novel, etc. This role is clearly given to Georgia, who is played by Brogan Armstrong, as the start of the sequence clearly focuses around her. However, this is challenged as she also plays the antagonist. The antagonist is a character that usually acts out of revenge on another character and usually opposes some decision making. Georgia is seen to be going out against her main bully, Jacob, who is played by Tyson Wejon, and is sorting out some form of revenge. This is seen when he appears to be dead in the water. However, this is only to be seen in her mind, which shows how she opposes her own decisions on what to do with him. Another way in which the film challenges character conventions is by the way that the main character is a female. In most thriller films, the main character often does appear to be male. However, in this film, Georgia is the main character, and the only other recognized character, Jacob, is seen to be more of a background character needed for context and to conduct a storyline. Jacob is more of what Alfred Hitchcock would describe as a prop with a pulse. Another convention that can be challenged is cinematography. General thriller cinematography tends to display close-ups or even extreme close-ups of the main character. This is displayed thoroughly throughout the film, as a majority of the footage is focused around Georgia. The reason for these close-up shots is because it establishes the mood and emotions running through the head of the main character, which in return helps set up the overall context and storyline that could be seen in the rest of the film. Another reason for having close-up shots in the film would be to show a prop that adds to the narrative. For example, there is a close-up on the bullying note that Georgia coincidentally picks up after having a rage and throwing her books off the table. This adds to the narrative as it shows again what angers her and leads her down the wharf in the end to decide her fate. A lot of the camera angles used display the bully Jacob being made to seem bigger than Georgia. Some shots even show him standing over her. This can represent how Jacob is having dominance over Georgia's life and over her thoughts, which first becomes audible when Georgia reads Jacob's note for the first time. The only time Georgia appears to be over Jacob is at the end when Jacob appears to be in the water when she's on the wharf, even though it is revealed that Jacob is not actually in the water. This shot was done to show that Georgia was finally about to take dominance over her situation, thoughts, and emotions. However, an oppositional reading might reveal that once a female takes control over a situation, it turns into a mess and often results in the female calling for help. Editing is another convention that can be challenged. A key part in editing this film was to include a section of jump cuts in order to make the audience aware of some form of context in the early stages of the film. This is crucial for even the beginning of the film to make sense. These jump cuts were used to build suspense as the camera got further and further down the wharf. It would leave the viewer wondering, what is at the end of the wharf? The main social group represented at the start of the film is teenagers, and the main teenage group represented is bullies. Jacob, played by Tyson Wejon, is displayed as the main bully at the start of this film. However, he is not the only one. To Georgia, it is felt that a lot of the people surrounding her do not like her and in return mock her and laugh at her. This is also seen by the voices in her head not being her own, or being Jacob's. In this way, the film shows that everyone can be a bully in some way in society. However, there are a few that stand out. It may also represent that sometimes the victim of a bully may be so insecure they will over-exaggerate how many people are actually against them. Thank you for listening and paying attention to my Cambridge AS Media Studies Creative Critical Reflection Question 1. I hope it was a pleasure to you as much as it was a pleasure to me.